Dana Susan Beasley of angelarts.biz. Thanks for tuning in to Reaching New Heights in the Arts. And today I have with me Tammie Polk. So, yay! Thank you for joining me, Tammie. Tammie and I have known each other for so long, I can't even remember how. And funny that we've known each other forever, but actually never met. Good for Facebook. So, but Tammie has authored over 60 books. Okay, I know you told me this morning, but I already forgot. I knew it was around the neighborhood of 60. So she is an amazing woman of God. So Tammie, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, I bring you greetings from the home of Elvis, the Grizzlies, and barbecue.
Ooh.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
I am a married homeschooling mother of 3 heads of hair. 16, 12, and 7.
Nice.
I am the spouse of a FedEx employee, so during times such as these, it is absolutely nuts around here.
Oh my goodness.
It's absolutely nuts. I am an educator at heart, but I'm an author by trade. As Dana has so modestly mentioned, I have been blessed to pen and publish 62 books on life, faith, family, ministry, education, business, and a little bit of fiction since September 2015. I am an author, and it's kind of a given.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious.
It's kind of obvious. I'm a speaker, and I am also a life and business coach for married Christian professional women with kids who feel like they can't achieve their goals because of the demands placed on their lives.
Right. Very needed.
So that I, and Dana can attest to this, I am team no excuses.
Oh, yes. I mean, you wrote the book on that, right?
I wrote several.
Yes.
Yeah, I talk about excuses a lot.
Right.
It's actually one of my favorite things to talk about. But I tell people that my goal and my joy is to lovingly annoy you.
Oh, yes.
To greatness. Even made a t-shirt that speaks to that.
Oh, okay.
So that is me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about how you started writing. What kind of spurred that on?
Actually, I started writing at the age of 11.
Okay.
My 6th grade teacher was a very, very big influence on me. And it's funny how I started with taking the whole writing plunge. I was 11 years old. I was in the 6th grade, and my teacher was preparing her essay for the Teacher of the Year award. And she was just scrambling, just pining for this word. Like she knew what she wanted to say, but the word was just like, ha, 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 catch me if you can. But as I listened to her read the sentence that she was working on over and over again, I figured out the word that she was trying to use. So I raised my hand, and she always called me Tamra because we had a Tammie in my class, which was me, and we had a Tamra, but she always called me Tamra. And so she says to me, "Yes, Tamra." And I said, "I think I know what word you're trying to use." And I was a straight A student, so she trusted me.
I'm not surprised.
She trusted me. So I walked up to the desk. I told her what the word was, and she says, "Go move your desk right here. You're sitting next to me for the rest of the school year."
Oh, wow.
So we sit there, finish the essay. She wins
Oh, wow.
Teacher of the Year.
Oh, wow.
She wins. And then after that, she put me in every essay, short story,
Oh, wow.
poetry, spoken word, anything that she could find. So by the time the school year was over, I had won almost $3,000 in prize money
Oh, my goodness.
because she pushed me. And when I graduated from the sixth grade, a billion years ago,
Not that long ago.
a billion years ago, she told my mom something that I would never forget. She said, Miss Terry, never stop Tammie from writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I carried that with me. So when I got to my 50th book, which was actually in January,
Oh my gosh.
I went on a quest to find her.
Mm.
I could describe where she lived. I knew what city she lived in. I knew the last place where she worked.
Oh, wow.
But two and two equaled six. And it just so happened that I put it out on Facebook that I wanted to find my teacher because at that time I was planning a big celebration and I wanted her to be there. But with the information that I had, I couldn't find her. So I put it out on Facebook, and one of my Facebook friends, who actually lives about 6 hours east of me, found her.
Oh, wow. That's the power of the internet.
And she says, all I have is an email address. And I said, that's good enough. So it's 9:30 at night. And I am emailing this lady sounding like a creepy creepy internet troll.
Right?
Saying if you taught at Grayson Elementary during this year, this time, please get back to me. And so I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, what can I say that will make her remember me? And I said, I'm the girl who gave you the word that helped you win Teacher of the Year. And she emailed, and I got an email response, and she said, you found me. And yes, I remember you. And she calls me, and I am like crying
Oh, I
buckets.
imagine.
I am crying buckets
Oh,
because
wow.
I have been looking for this lady. You see, my oldest daughter is 16. I have been looking for this lady for 12 years.
Oh, my. I'm impressed. She must have made a big impression on you to remember her name, because I don't remember any of my teachers' names from back then.
Her, I would not. Actually, I remember all of my teachers' names, kindergarten
Really?
through college. That's just the way my brain cells
I don't
work.
remember, maybe one named Crawford. That's all I can remember about elementary school. But then again, I am a little bit older than you, but we won't talk about how much.
It's not by much, though.
Yeah, well, anyway.
It's not.
Yeah. And plus, I moved around a lot, so it was hard to remember that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the military. No, I wasn't in the military. My dad was in the military.
Military,
I was a
military,
military brat.
military brat. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
I was totally a military brat. Okay. So, what is the latest project that you're working on?
Actually, as of 1 o'clock this morning,
Yeah.
some, no, 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I released kind of what I call Satan in a Book Part Two.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
I wrote a book in 2016, The Seven Virtuous Businesswoman Slayers, Seven Deadly Cop Outs.
Yep.
Which Dana lovingly designed the cover and for the book and the workbook.
Yes,
She's
that was fun.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And I decided to do a sequel called The Seven Justified Slayers. I'm good where I am because dot dot dot.
Okay.
So basically, the last of the seven slayers is I'm good where I am, which is an excuse that we use for not being where we want to be in life and business. That's that comfort zone. That's that I'm in my own little corner, in my own
Mm-hmm.
little chair. I have,
Mm-hmm.
leave me alone. And then with that, you ask why. Why do you say that you're good where you are? So here I give the seven responses that I heard to that.
Wow.
I'm not ready yet. I have to take care of my family first. I'm not qualified to do that. It doesn't take all that. That's not for me. I have no support.
Mm.
And there is one more. It is escaping me.
Well, they have to get your book when it comes out to find out, right?
Yep. If you want to know which one I forgot, my book. It
And that's on Amazon right now.
is. The Kindle version is up. The paperback is being a little testy.
Oh, okay.
I left some sample text in my manuscript and they found
Ooh. Oh dear.
it. So,
Whoops.
yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
The emotional author coaster.
Hmm. We just might have a little visitor come.
Okay.
I got a cat. This is the hazards of working at home.
Right.
So if there's cat and dog noise in the background, that's why.
Cat, dog,
There she
kid.
is.
Yeah, well, that's life.
Well, that's what makes working at home so interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. Awesome. So now my next question is how
Cats
oh my
have
goodness.
no filter.
No. I mean, they have to be in the middle of everything.
Everything.
Uh-huh. So, okay. Now I'll get my thinking
Mhm.
hat back. So, in these kind of tough times we're having right now, do you have any advice to somebody who is, you know, having these excuses and a lot of people are hurting because they were counting on a job and now they don't have a job. So how can being a work at home mom help that situation?
Number one, it eliminates the excuses.
Exactly. Oh, I hear that.
I actually made a Facebook post probably about 2 weeks ago now. No, yeah, probably about 2 weeks ago. And it said, those slayers that you guys have been using, they're canceled. Now get to work.
Exactly. Yep.
Call me if you need me.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a time where it's imperative that you remember who you are and what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I understand what it's like to doubt that during times like these. Dana, I confided in you just a couple of days
Mm-hmm.
ago, of feeling like what I'm doing and what I'm writing is no longer relevant. But then when I started to think about what these work at home moms are now going through, I realized I may have to present it a little bit differently, but it still works.
Oh, it's so needed.
It still works.
Yes.
So I look at books like this one,
Right.
The Virtuous Businesswoman, inspired by Proverbs 31. Guess who did the cover?
Yep. That was fun.
And this one, this was a labor of love. Dana will tell you
Mm-hmm.
this right here was a beast to write because I didn't want to write it the way I didn't want to do it the way God told me to. I did
Here,
not.
show the back cover.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Oh,
yes, beautiful. Yes. So with the virtuous businesswoman inspired by Proverbs 31, I take the virtuous woman of Proverbs out of her box. You know, the ones with the wedding bells and the baby shoes?
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I take her out of the box because the 21 attributes that are listed about her lend themselves to today's business world.
Oh, absolutely.
And I tell you how.
That's awesome.
And and the reason why I struggled with this one was because I knew that if I wrote it the way, because it's written in line with Proverbs 31, 10 through 31.
Right.
And I knew that if I kept it in that order, single women were not going to buy my book. So I told God, I'm putting them in there. Them husband verses. I put the kid verses in there,
Mm.
not the husband verses. So here I am, I'm writing, and I'm like, ooh, I'm done. Yay! Start typing. And the spirit says, what? Yeah,
That's awesome.
not done yet. And I said, well, I got to the last verse. He said, yeah, but 11 and 12 aren't there. And I said, well, Jesus, I don't want to alienate the single woman. And he said, the virtuous woman of Proverbs was married. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Kind of hard to think of that.
we're going to put those verses back in there. And I said, I challenged the Holy Spirit. I said, okay, you want me to put those two verses back in there? Well, then you're going to have to tell me exactly what to say.
Well, he's kind of good at that.
Yeah. So I pick up my pen, I write out those two verses, and I said, okay. I wrote them down. Now it's your turn. My brain went and the pen just started moving.
That's so cool. Oh.
And when I was and when I finished with it, Spirit says, "Okay, now you're done." So, and that's just one example. But what you have to understand is that, and I actually wrote on this in book number 63, which I finished at 1 this morning,
Oh my gosh.
about how crisis can actually teach you good things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is. Crisis is giving you back your relationship with your kids.
Right.
Crisis is giving you back your relationships with your spouse. Crisis is keeping you away from the toxic family members that is keeping you from being great.
Oh, that's funny and true. It's funny because
It's
it's true.
true. Yes. Crisis is keeping you from overspending
Mm-hmm.
because there is nothing to spend and
Right.
everything to buy. Crisis is making you stay home,
Mm-hmm.
but crisis also makes you remember who you are and what you can do.
Mm.
But the problem is we want to dismiss what crisis is showing us because we think it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Write a book. That's not going to change the life of my family. Well, honey, let me tell you. Take this from a married mother of 3 girls. In 2015, when my first published, not my first written, but my first published book came out, we were in a financial bind. We had just moved in to this home the fall before. So we had been in our home for less than a year and we were still adjusting. So when my book came out, every offline sale that I made got something for my house.
Mm.
I had people coming by my house, people meeting me at my office. I was delivering books, picking up $12 here, $24 there, $12 over here, 25 over here. But every time I got any sale, regardless of the amount, I looked around my house and said, okay, what can I do with this little bit to keep my family going? Sometimes it was just keeping gas in the car. Sometimes it was food, detergent.
Mm-hmm.
Very important in a family of 5, let me tell you.
Right.
You know, it was small. It was a small amount. But each time I got a sale, I looked around my house and I said, I may not be able to do everything, but if I can pillow my head at night knowing that those 3 girls are not going to go to bed hungry
Mm-hmm.
because mommy made $12, that's enough.
Mm.
I may not have been able to get the best thing for them nutritionally,
Mm-hmm.
with that $12. But they went to bed with full tummies
Mm,
and smiles on their faces.
mm,
I was able to pillow my head and say, thank you, God, for what I was able to do.
mm.
So it doesn't matter how little it brings in, it's a matter of what you do with it.
Right.
And it hurts me when I see that so many have forgotten who they are, what they can do, and what they know how to do. And I'm going to attempt to tell this story without making all of us cry.
Okay.
But back in the early 90s, Memphis had an ice storm. Now, if you know anything about the South,
Oh,
anything below 60 is Armageddon.
right. I can kind of imagine that. Kind of. Being in
Anything
Colorado, it's
right
imagine
below 60, we're looking for Jesus. Hey,
especially if there's snow, right?
right. We're looking for Jesus if it's below 60. But we had an ice storm, and the ice on the streets was 6 inches thick.
Whoa.
And the only reason why I knew that was that because at the edge of my driveway there was a hole in the ice. And me being adventurous, I slid down my driveway because I wanted to know how thick the ice was. And so I stuck a ruler in the hole, and sure enough, ice was 6 inches thick. And I had a 6 inch ruler. I like to not got my ruler back. So I'm fighting ice to get my ruler back. And we're huddled up in the house. Fortunately, we had a wood burning fireplace and people who knew how to use it.
Right.
So my brothers and I are huddled up in our den, and my mom's got sheets hanging over open areas to keep the heat
Eat in.
there
Yeah.
in the room. So we're sitting there, and my mom goes out to the store because the power was going off and on, hence the reason that we were using the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm going to run to the store and I'm going to come back and I'm going to cook before the power goes out for good. The power was out for good when she got back.
Oh no.
And I remember she sat the groceries on the patio because she didn't want to open the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
And she went into the living room and she cried
Mm.
because we had an electric stove.
Oh, of course.
So my brothers are looking at me saying, tell mom you're hungry. She'll figure something out. Because I'm the baby and the only girl. Worst kind of kid ever. And I said to them, I want to live. And because I want to live, I'm not listening to you. That's
Yeah.
what I'm not doing.
Yeah, I had three
It's
brothers. I can kind of picture what you're saying.
not listening. Not listening. So my mom comes out of the family room and she's smiling. So part of me is saying she's smiling because she doesn't want us to know that she was crying, or she's smiling because she had a whole come to Jesus meeting in that living room.
Mm.
And it was the latter. She came out and she says, wait a minute. She says, I have a fireplace, a barbecue grill, and 2 cast iron skillets.
There you go. That's all you need, right?
Hold on just a second. Now, my mom goes outside. Now, keep in mind, there's 6 inches of ice on the ground.
Cold for there, probably.
Cold.
Mm.
She goes to the barbecue grill and literally breaks the rack out of it.
Oh.
She comes in and she sits the rack in the fireplace. She gets those 2 cast iron skillets. She has pancakes in one, and she has country ham and bacon in the other one. Guess what she did with those cast iron skillets?
She
She
made it.
stuck them in the fire
Yeah.
and set them on top of the barbecue grill. Right. Then she went and got 2 pots. She put grits in one, oatmeal in the other one. Where she put them? In the fireplace on the barbecue rack.
Wow. Resourceful.
Very. When she came out with a pan of biscuits, we were like,
Wait. Huh?
I'm like, I know moms have special powers in times such
Yeah.
as this, but the pancakes we get.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with the biscuits? Wait.
Yeah.
However, she received special powers from Almighty God because those biscuits cooked as if she had put them in the oven. I kid you not. She died without telling me how that happened.
You have no idea.
I kid you not. We were scared to eat them at first.
Were they manna or something?
Until she took one out and she opened it. And I'm like, wait, she was actually able to open the biscuit. I said, okay, so at least it's done around the sides. I'm like, okay. So I walk over to the open biscuit and I touch the inside and it's solid and warm. And I'm like, what kind of sorcery? I'm like, my mom just made a whole breakfast with like a whole breakfast. Like I'm still I rack my brain to this day trying to figure out the science.
Did it taste really yummy? You're making me very hungry.
It did.
Probably the best meal ever.
They tasted like they came right out of the oven. So she gave me, she made us plates, and we're sitting there eating. Everybody is scared to say anything at that point because we were like, our mom just baked biscuits in the fireplace. Are we not going to talk about this? So as we are sitting there eating, my mom is smiling. And we're like scaredly smiling still. But she looked at us and she said, babies, I'm sorry. She said, I forgot what I know how to do and how I know to survive. It will never happen again.
Wow.
And when the power came back on, my mom looked at my stepfather and she said, I don't care who you have to call. I don't care how much it costs, but I want a gas stove
Mm.
in my kitchen.
Mm.
She said, because I know how to light a gas stove when the power's out.
Right.
So my stepfather did the absolute smartest thing that he could do in that situation. He picked up the phone. So in a matter of hours, we had the gas company and Sears in our house at the same time.
You got it done.
So my mom is standing there supervising.
Uh-huh.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm, mhm. Oh, you need me to test this? Okay. And the power went out again a couple of days later. But my mom was strutting like a peacock
I
to
bet.
that kitchen. She turned that gas, she struck a match, boom,
Wow.
we're eating. She even figured out how to light the oven, both of them.
Wow.
So, and so, so once again, we're sitting there like, the burners we get.
You're right.
How did you light the wick in the oven with a match? And we were like, and my brothers are sitting there, they're talking amongst themselves. I rolled over and I rolled over and took a nap. I was like, you know what? Mm-mm. I'm like, first she done baked the biscuits in the fireplace. Now she done with a match. I'm done.
Wow.
But it was crisis. The fear of not being able to feed children. I think at the time we were 11, 16, and 17. But the thought of us going without eating reminded my mom of how her mom taught her to survive.
Mm.
Had to buy a new barbecue grill. Had to buy a new barbecue grill because she destroyed that joker
Right.
there. But we would laugh and joke around about that anytime we had any snow or ice to come through. We would tell my stepfather, you got a lock on that grill? And he would just laugh. But it serves to remind me that, as I said before, crisis can bring back good things.
Right.
As I was waiting for this interview to start, one of my Facebook friends was doing a live where she sat down and taught her grandkids how to make strawberry jam.
Ooh, wow. That's fun.
And then they made homemade biscuits to go with it.
I
was like,
you're really
man,
making me
what?
hungry.
I'm like, what did I do with your address? With social distancing, just leave me a couple of them on the porch.
Right, there you go.
Leave me a couple of them on the porch. So during this time, this is the time to dust off the stuff that you said that you couldn't do anymore because you didn't have time, you had a job, and you had kids.
Right.
It's time to dust all that stuff.